everybody. I thought I would do a little cooking video here and show you a couple different recipes. The first is for meatloaf that I make using deer burger or venison, whatever you would like to call it. My husband hunts, and so a lot of times, if he's fortunate, we have deer meat to use. And so we get a lot of deer burger, and this is one of the ways that I like to use the deer burger. Deer burger is a very lean burger. There's not a lot of fat in it. So when I make meatloaf with it, I do not put any kind of filler. I don't use breadcrumbs, I don't use oatmeal, nothing like that, because it absorbs the moisture. So what I have in my bowl here is about a pound and a half, between a pound and a half and 2 pounds of ground burger. To that, I am going to add a large egg. This is a big one right here. This is going to be a double yolker. So you could use 2 regular eggs, but I'm just going to use one of these. I'm going to put this in here. Yep, double yolker. Now I'm going to add some salt. This is Himalayan pink salt. So I'm going to add some salt into there. That's probably about a teaspoon, guys. Some pepper. You add to taste whatever you like with this. We like pepper, so I'm going to put a lot in there. If you don't like a lot of pepper, adjust accordingly. I am going to put dried onion, about a little more. Real technical measurements here, guys. This is how I mix a lot of stuff. Like that. And then the last thing I'm going to add is a can of cream of mushroom soup. Now, if you don't like mushroom, you could use a different kind of cream soup. Maybe you could use celery, or even cream of chicken might be good. But we like mushroom. My husband Jim really likes mushrooms, so we're going to use mushroom. Now, if I had been on the ball and thought of this sooner, I have frozen mushrooms. I would have grabbed some of those and got them out, but I didn't, so I am not going to put them in this time, but you could also use mushrooms in this. So, I'll dump this in here. This is very fast and easy to make. Nothing complicated. The tricky thing with the deer burger is that it tends to be dry, so we simply do not add any fillers into it. So just going to stir this up. You will even notice when you do this how it kind of absorbs the liquid. And that's about it, guys. I just have an oiled baking dish here. I don't do mine in a loaf pan. You certainly could. I just use a casserole dish like this. So I'm going to put that in my casserole dish here. And we'll just smooth this out. And then I will cook this in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes or till it's done. You can check it, make sure it's done the whole way through. Just like that, really easy. And that is that. So I'm going to get my oven started here at 350. And then the next thing I want to show you that I have here is homemade bread. This is homemade onion bread. The recipe is as follows: 1.5 cups of warm water, 1/4 cup of sugar, and a tablespoon of active dry yeast. You mix all of that together and you set it aside. You're going to let that set so that your yeast starts working. Then in a separate bowl, while that's working, you're going to put 4.25 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and a teaspoon of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of dried onion. You're going to mix that all together. Then you are going to add your water mixture to your flour. You're going to give that a stir and then use your hands and you're going to knead it. I have kneaded for about 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to knead it until you get kind of an elastic feel to the dough. Then you cover it and set it in a warm place to rise for about 40 minutes to an hour. You want it to double in size so you can check it and see. It will have a lot to do with how new or how old your yeast may be sometimes. After it has risen, which is where we are right here, I'm going to show you what I do after this, the rest of it. All right. I'm going to come over here and give my hands a quick wash for making the meatloaf, and then I will continue and show you what I do with this bread. Okay guys, so here I have my covered dough. This has been rising for about an hour. So I'm going to what is called punch this down, and basically you're just doing this. You're just working it, you're kind of kneading it back down after it has risen one time. So I'm going to do this. That already smells so good. This will go really good with the meatloaf, but also this is really good for toasted cheese sandwiches or garlic bread. All right, so that's good. I am going to basically cut this in half, try to get it even here so that it's about the same. And you can see I have 2 bread pans here. I'm going to do this in bread pans. I'm kind of shape this into an oval here. I want it about the length of the bread pan. And then I'm going to lay that in there. Push that in there a little bit. I'm not going to get too fussed with it. Okay, and I'll do the other one. What we're going to do then is cover this and let it rise again till it's doubled in size. And then we're going to bake it at 375 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes till it's golden brown on the top. Then you take it out of the oven and you butter the crust because it's always better that way. And then you dump it out of the pan and you let it cool. And then slice it and eat it. Now, a lot of times we have a very serious problem here, which is we can't let it cool completely before we have to try to cut it and eat it because it smells so good. Okay, that's going to be good enough. We're going to, I'll just sit these over here on top of my stove because I have the oven going now with the meatloaf on there. I will sit these on top of the stove. The warmth that's coming up will help this. And we'll let that rise up again, and then we'll bake it, like I said, 375 for 30 to 35 minutes, and she'll be ready to go. I will make sure that y'all can see this recipe. You could pause the video so that you can write it down if you're interested. Okay, guys, that's it. Have a good one. Okay, everybody, I just wanted to come back and show you. I just took these loaves of bread out of the oven. I wanted to show you what they look like and what I do. I have part of a stick of butter here, and while these loaves are still hot, fresh out of the oven, I just take this and go all over the tops of the crust. Let that soak in. Makes them so good. And I will let this set for just a little bit and let it cool down, and then I will dump it out of the pans. Now I wanted to mention, these are 2 smaller loaves. This recipe does a 2-pound loaf, and you could do this all in one pan and have one great big loaf. I just prefer to have 2 smaller loaves, but you can do it however you want to do it. And you don't even have to bake your bread in a pan like this. You can do it in any kind of baking dish. I bake bread often in a cast iron pan, or in like a crock type of a oven safe crock. It bakes up really neat. It's a different shape. You can do all kinds of things. Maybe I'll do some more recipes and show how I do some of the different ones. You can also bake on a stone, which makes a real nice loaf. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what I do with these after I pull them out. I butter the crusts and let that soak in, and it makes them so good. So now the challenge is letting these cool enough to slice them so we can eat them. Alright, that's it, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.